It's that time. Hello, everybody. And it is Jolly time. We're live. Me and Miss D, Willie and D Jolley, here for Happily Married Monday with the Jolleys.
Yes, and we're going to be very efficient.
Yeah, we're going to be fishing today. We're by ourselves tonight, no guests. But we have had so many responses from last week's. And the reason why we are going to be efficient is because we haven't had the same length and time that we usually have. We've been kind of busy because I got a new book that just came out, Attitude of Excellence. Get the best from yourself, your team, and your organization. Featured last week in Forbes magazine. So I've been on radio interviews every day, all day long, because the book focuses a lot on my work with Ford Motor Company and the things that we were able to do with Ford to be able to help Ford to reject a government bailout, go from losing millions to making billions. And so with all that happened last week with GM's layoffs, we've got a lot of media people and media companies calling and asking for interviews. So we've been kind of busy with the new book release. So
Asking for your opinion.
Asking for what did Ford do to avoid the layoffs, avoid the bad publicity that GM maybe could have done, or the lessons others can learn from the success of Ford. So it's been a really hectic last 7 days since that was announced last Monday afternoon.
So we don't have a guest tonight.
No, we don't have a guest tonight.
Okay.
So that's a good way of getting around that. We're back with just me and her because we hadn't had time to put a lot of time and energy into our guest and preparing and all of that. But we have had so many responses from last week's show.
Because our guests were awesome.
They were incredible. And here's what I'd like to ask you. Would you like to have them back again soon? Because if you say yes, we'll make it happen. We'll do it. We'll find a way to have Tonya and Wayne Johnson back because they're so transparent. And let me tell you, after the show ended last week, they were here about another hour, and they even told us even more stuff. And it was like, what?
Let's get to some ideas.
So anyway, if you want Wayne and Tonya back for another session with them, then send us an email, please, at info@willyjolley.com. info@WILLIEJOLLEY.com, and we'll make it happen. So, for those who are just joining us, we have to assume I'm Dr. Willy Jolley. This is my beautiful bride,
D. Taylor Jolley.
We've been married for going on 34 years, and we haven't had an argument in over 30 years.
That's because I'm a patient, wonderful wife. And I listened to him yesterday.
Yeah, that's
yes.
That's such a funny story. Anyway, my son asked us to write a book because he's 33, never heard us argue, and we haven't had an argument in 30 years. Those first couple of years, we had a lot of arguments.
Well, he simply talks to his friends about that when they discuss relationships and the like. And so he encouraged us to write a book to tell how we did it or how we do it. That's all. So
how we've done it, and why we've been able to keep. I'm make sure the volume is way up. Okay. And why we were able to maintain our relationship.
Yes.
So that said, we have the book for those who are maybe joining the first time. The book's called Make Love, Make Money,
Make It Last.
Make It Last. 10 Secrets to Shape a Great Marriage. 10 secrets we've employed in our marriage over the last 30 years since we learned them from some wise mentors. So
we figured it out and we practiced it.
And we used those principles.
So we have a great relationship. Sex, money, and communication. Those are the primary issues.
Hold on. You just flew into that.
I know. Let's cut to the chase.
The three big boulders that break up marriages are sex, money, and communication.
Yes.
And if you had to take one as the big three, it's communication.
Common thread that
That's
runs
common
through
thread
everything.
because you got to talk about sex, you got to talk about money, and the lack of communication brings all sorts of problems. So the book is out. We are in the final group a box of books of the first printing, and
So we headed to a reprint and an
Yes.
update. Yes.
And people have been just so excited about this book. And then also we have the audio that we did live at Grace Church, two CDs. And this one is pretty profound and funny. So we encourage you to go to jollymarriage.com and get the free chapter from the book. And
That talks about how to disagree without being disagreeable.
Yep.
In other words, how not to be ugly when you don't share the same opinions, and strategies on how to resolve those, how to work through your disagreements.
yes, so go get that chapter, and then jollymarriage.com/live to get the audio. Now, let's talk about what this week we had so many people who were wowed by last week, and they asked questions that we didn't get a chance last week to respond to. So we've got some of the questions here, but there's one question I want to say to the men who asked very specific. Men called, asked on the phone, some sent emails, and wanted to know what Brother Wayne had said. He doesn't use Viagra, and he is good to go. And I said, yeah, I'm with you. Never popped a blue pill, and I'm good to go. And so
Tell them what you use.
I'm getting ready to tell
Oh my
them.
goodness, he's just so long.
So
and
my
drawn
friend
out.
Eddie
Oh, my
Johnson,
goodness.
Eddie Johnson, who's a health practitioner, who's an architect, but he's a health practitioner, one of the most knowledgeable people I've ever met with natural herbs that will help you become more have vitality and energy and for men. So here are the things that Brother Wayne talked about. It was horny goat weed, and that's really a name of the
Oh, what does it do?
it helps a brother out.
Okay, horny goat weed.
Horny
Okay,
goat
what
weed. Now
else?
that's
It's a
pill capsule. Then I mentioned
It's an herb. Is it an herb?
it's an herb.
Okay.
Yes, it's an
Okay.
herb,
Okay.
and it's completely natural. And
Does it smell?
no, smell like
It
an herb.
smells-
It smells like an herb. Okay.
Okay.
Then the other things that Eddie Johnson told me years ago to invest in, so that I wouldn't have to take any prescription medication in case I needed a brother needed a little help. So ashwagandha. Ashwagandha.
You can get that at Whole Foods.
You can get that in any health food store.
Mom's Market.
Yep. Ashwagandha. ASHWAGANDHA.
So hold it up. It's not in the frame so they can see it.
All right, well, ashwagandha. Okay, that's what Eddie told me, and I bought it, and he was right. Then
So that's a
yohimbe,
tincture. That's like a drop.
a drop. It's a liquid. Yohimbe. Okay, can y'all see that? Yohimbe.
Spell it.
YOHIMBE.
So you put all those drop. You put a drop in
A couple
your,
drops in your juice and your water. Yep. And then Damiana.
Spell it.
DAMIANA. Damiana. So this is another one Eddie recommended. It works very well. And then Eleuthero. 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 And finally is Ho Shu Wu. Ho Shu Wu. Obviously, it has an Asian flair or name.
Spell that.
HOSHOUWU.
So there's 2, 4, 5. So there's 6 things you take.
One,
The
two,
tincture,
three,
the
four, five,
drops,
six. Yeah.
a drop or 2 in your juice.
Yes.
And along with the horny goat weed
Yeah.
as a.
Now, I don't take it often because
You don't need it often. Is that
Still got the
Stay
guts.
on focus,
I
please.
still got it, but
Yes,
I do take it because it gives you more vitality and energy, and I don't have to take a little pill. And many of my friends, as they got into their 50s and 60s, were having some issues.
So I don't think it's just that. It's the overall that and how you maintain yourself.
And exercise every day.
Exercise and your diet.
Every
So you're
day,
not
every
eating
day.
Lots of
Exercise every day. I know. We went to our church party the other night with our church leaders, and they had some ham. I don't eat ham. I stopped eating
He likes ham. Let's make that very
I do
clear.
like it. I do, but I don't eat it anymore because it doesn't serve me well. And I know that, but I did take a little taste. And when I go to the country down in Virginia for Christmas or something, and they have a little bit of country ham sandwich, I had to taste it. My mama would get a country ham every time we go to, and she was in almost 90, so.
Yes. Stay on focus. Come on.
Stay on focus. Let's talk about. Okay, we got only a few more minutes. This is a concise one because we know that many of you have full days. Oh, one more thing. I want to thank. Thank you for passing this video on to your friends. Please continue to subscribe to our YouTube so you'll get notice when we're on, and then forward this to Lottie, Dottie, and everybody you know, and say this will help your marriage. Oh, one more thing I must say
is having a sense of humor definitely helps.
Having a sense
and
of
then
humor.
sometimes you might not have a sense of humor, but I can attest to the fact that you can get one by making the decision.
She did not
but
have.
You need to lighten up, especially when you're with someone who's off the chain all the time.
Don't
you have to learn
tighten
to
up.
lighten up.
No, lighten up. Yeah. Don't tighten up. No, lighten up. How you like that?
You just created the song too?
Yeah, it was Archie Bell and Drill said tighten up,
okay.
and I just added lighten up.
Oh, okay.
But she did not have a sense of humor at all.
Humor helps you to survive. It really
Humor.
does. And it means just to choose to see life a little differently.
Right.
To find some humor in that. Keeps your blood pressure from
all
going
right,
through
so
the roof.
let's talk about a few of the things that we got questions for. One of the questions was about the herbs that Brother Wayne and I recommended. So we've done that. Another one was, my spouse wants sex all the time, but my job is demanding, and I'm not always in the mood for sex. Therefore, I'm accused of using sex as a weapon. What should I do? Talk about it. Talk about it.
So talk about how you feel.
How you feel.
That you broke down into the day, you can't function, and
talk about it, and at least have the dialogue. Because see, when you talk about it, you at least help your mate, your spouse, to understand what you're dealing with, and it's not
what you're going through emotionally,
or physically. You might be tired, and you have to say, "I'm just tired." Okay.
So how do you fit? And I'm saying that if you talk about it, then you have to come up with some strategy.
Yeah, you have to
on
have
how to fix
you know. Last week, Brother Wayne and Sister Tonya talked about their daughter and son-in-law didn't have a date night; they had a date day. Where
do something non-traditional.
Yeah, date day. So if you're working a lot and you come home, you broke down at night, find a time during the day when y'all can get together.
So maybe it's a Saturday or maybe it's a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, where
you
you
have
can
to talk it through and being willing to compromise.
Work on it, and it's about
different.
Communication. Again, communication is critical, whether it's sex, money. Both of those are big boulders that break up marriages, and often people won't talk about it. And you know, what was so refreshing, I think, last week was that Brother Wayne and Sister Tonya talked about their faith and the church and sex, which was refreshing because we all know that we do not hear in church often people talk about sex between married couples, and yet married couples are breaking up in the church at just about the same level as people outside of the church because they won't talk about sex. They won't talk about the things that are bothering them, the things that are problematic, the things that are on their mind.
I think it's difficult to start the communication, especially if you've grown up in an environment where it is not a topic of conversation.
It's uncomfortable.
And so you have to push past.
You have to.
Your uncomfortableness.
Yep.
To say, this is what's on my heart. This is what is bothering me, and you have to learn to talk in such a way to not be accusatory. But here's what I'm feeling.
So let's talk about it. Arguing. I was talking to my son, and I was reminiscing. And during the time we were dating, we really never argued. Our arguments came after we got married. But did we ever have issues talking about sex?
What? Before we were married?
Well, no. When we got married, when we were early married.
No, that was not. No.
And so we didn't talk about we didn't have any problems to talk about, but we probably talked about it because we established.
We had so many issues with the blended family and so many challenges going on. Sex was not a problem.
Right.
We had too many other things that were going on that were challenges in our relationship that we had to learn how to deal with.
Yeah.
So by the time we had quiet time, we had time to ourselves, we were just like, we're just so happy to be together and not have confrontation about the other issues.
Blended families, folks. We have had more people. Now, we get a lot about sex. We get a lot about communication, but this blended family issue is something we got to work on.
If you have at least 50% of marriages breaking up and there are children, and then those they remarry, then blending of families is a major issue.
Yes. We've had more people ask us about the fact that Dee is very transparent about blended families and the challenges we went through and how she had to really do a real mind job on herself to put William, our son, together's face on our daughter's body.
Well, because she was ugly at the time. She was just ugly. Let's not
get off track.
That's another.
That's a whole nother episode.
Yes, let's go back.
And if y'all want more episodes on us talking about topics, feel free to email us on those as well, because we really want to cater to your needs. And one more thing, we want to do what you've asked and have a marriage seminar, a full day with us, so we can do a deep dive. And
that's sometime in next year, 2019.
2019,
before the end of the first quarter, or
I would
after
think.
The first
yeah,
quarter,
definitely in the first quarter. If that's an interest as well, send us an email. Okay. So my spouse wants sex all the time. My job is demanding, and I'm not always in the mood for sex. I'm accused of using sex as a weapon. What should I do? So if we first talk about it, we talk in the book about sex as a weapon, though, and how that is a common issue that we've heard.
And it might be how you say. It might even be how you say no, or that I'm tired, and it might appear that you're using it as a weapon. So back to communication.
Saying,
this is what's going on with me, and I feel emotionally
drained. Sex is not a weapon. Let me read a little. Sex can be a terrific reward, but it should never be used as a weapon. Never withhold sex to retaliate or hurt your spouse. It will always backfire. Withholding sex is a mistake because it leads people to seek other ways to satisfy their sexual needs. Often, those options are not good for the person's long-term happiness, and they're definitely not good for the relationship or the marriage. Sex is beautiful and a wonderful part of marriage, and while it can be an effective tool for influencing your spouse, it should never be used as a weapon.
But what if you're tired and you've worked all day, which is what this person is saying?
What are you tired and you worked all day? Then let's talk about it. You used to work all day. No, that didn't come out right.
Work. No, I don't work anymore. I just lie in bed. You put grapes in my mouth. That works. Yes. Okay.
Well, you used to work on Capitol Hill. She works like a beaver.
I used to work outside
our business and our home.
Of the business on Capitol Hill.
But she works like a beaver here. She was up at 3 a.m. working on the workbook that y'all have been asking for, getting it out to you first of the year. So anyway, she was up all night doing that. She works all day then with bank business, finances, working with different consultants.
Oh,
and
I would
stuff.
have to say I don't have anything else left. I would have to say that.
So you would say that you're tired. You cook maybe.
And I did cook back then.
Yeah,
I
you
actually
cook.
did
You
cook.
that's another funny here. We're going to cook. Yeah. Now that one, you know, I said she used to work.
Wait,
she used to cook.
Wait, did I cook this week?
Yes, you did.
See?
When the baby was coming up, the babies and the little ones, oh, she cooked every day. Spaghetti, turkey spaghetti.
I don't do that anymore. Not just in that.
Fried chicken. What? Has this kitchen seen a fried chicken?
We don't do fried chicken, sweetheart. It's not good for us to have fried chicken at all.
Is that brother like fried chicken? Anyway.
Yes.
Anyway.
Okay.
So, but you did cook. You did work outside the house. You did take the kids to school. We had a system. So some days
we had, in other words, we had to develop a system between the two of us. We had to come up with a system for all the different things that we had to do. And I did work outside of the home. Sometimes for Capitol Hill, and the schedules are crazy, it might be 8 or 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, or
and
later.
And the adjusted schedule that I had then, I would take William to school on the other side of Capitol Hill. I think you took Tonya to school, and we would adjust who would pick up whom. And often I would pick William up during my lunch. I take lunch 3 o'clock and come back to Capitol Hill and work until the time, whatever that time might be to leave. And I would have William. Sometimes I'd have to take him to a reception. I'd have to take him to some kind of meeting, whatever it was, because there might not be a 9 to 5 situation on Capitol Hill.
Right.
You had to work until the job was done. So I had to adjust. We did lots of lasagna, lots of spaghetti, and things like that.
Well, no, let's get to the
could
sex.
stretch.
I ain't worried about the food. So,
We can, but
So-
what I'm saying
so when
is
you
we,
got-
had,
when I-
we
when-
had to create a system so that we were not, I didn't have to cook every day. Now, let's just make this clear. Whoever does what well. My husband does not really cook, or if he did cook, you might not want to eat it. So it was okay.
Ooh, did you hear that?
You do
Shade.
many other things well, sweetheart.
All right.
Cooking is not
No,
one
it's not
of
one of my
them.
gifts.
No.
No.
And so I adjusted the schedule since I was the one that was cooking because I wanted to be able to eat.
Let's talk about the sex. And so she would maybe come home and she's tired. She's dealt with the kids.
So I didn't. So in other words, I tried not to cook. I had to plan it out.
Okay.
So we didn't have a fresh cooked meal every day, and we did not have the money to go out.
Oh, we never went out.
Had to be. No, we didn't. We actually didn't.
We didn't go out often.
No,
we had
did
2
not.
kids in private school.
We had 2
Christian
kids
schools,
in private school. Yes,
Christian
we did.
school. We did not go out to dinner often.
So we stretched those the meals so that I would cook maybe 2 or 3 times a week.
Right. So, but let's get back to the sex. I keep wanting to get back. You didn't get back to the food.
All right, but how do you have time for sex if you cooking and doing
I know,
all
but let's say
the
you
time?
did. Let's say they're doing the cooking all the time. And so you're saying some strategies might be.
Some strategies might be that you're not doing all of the work when you come home from your other
You're
full-time
preparing
job.
food
Right.
in advance.
Right.
You're preparing
Or
and
the
planning.
spouse can do some of the cooking.
Okay.
If he's fresher and more inclined, he wants sex more often, then create an environment that makes it easier for, I don't know if this is a man or a woman.
I don't know if man or man, because it might be the woman saying, you know,
create an environment that makes it easier
You come
for
home from
the
work.
longer working
I've
spouse.
been waiting for you all day.
Right.
Or, I'm,
For the
I'm
longer-
meeting you here. And what's up?
Create an environment for the longer working spouse outside of the home to be able to come home, debrief a little, and then
Talk about it, though. It goes back to, y'all talk about it. Look, if it's the
create
wife.
some other. That's what I'm saying. You got to talk about it and create some different strategies. For example, it could be a turnoff if your bedroom is a mess.
Okay,
Clothes
let's
all
go.
over the
Oh,
floor.
let's go right there.
Yeah,
Hold up.
Let's go there.
Let's go
when,
right
when
there.
you talk about
Hold
sex,
up.
they're like,
Hold up,
that's
hold
a
up.
turnoff
Hold up. It's
that
right
we
there.
had to talk about.
Okay, let me read it here, right here. It's on page 100. I got to read it because you can see when sex is a beautiful part, and while it can be an effective tool for influencing your spouse, it should never be used as a weapon. That's why I stopped. I am not the neatest one in the household. When my gym bag, towels, pants, several pairs of shoes and underwear, and my tennis racket expand to the middle of our bedroom floor. Dee does not fuss. She knows I'm messy. Even when we travel, I request a room with double beds that I unpack and throw everything on the second bed. I'm very happy being messy.
So he knows that the chaos, and I have explained to him, I don't holler and scream. I said, you know what? The chaos in the gym bag and tripping over the shoes and everything just doesn't make me feel romantic. And he will say, well, when we talked about it initially, what does it take for you to feel romantic? I said, could you just please hide the tennis shoes and just all the chaos, and the bed is a mess? So when we get the gym creep of the shoes and the underwear, I'm like, honey, that does not
make me say.
No.
That gets my attention, folks. So that's maybe the conversation, is not using it as a weapon, using it as an influencing item. Hey, this is what will make me more sexy. Make the room sexy. Make our life sexy. Helping me with the food makes it sexy. Mm-hmm. She'll say things to me sometimes like, would you...
Oh, you reminded me, because there are leaves. We have deciduous trees. Is that a cool word? Leaves, trees?
Say it again.
Deciduous trees.
Deciduous trees.
In other words, there are leaves all over the place.
This is fall, and leaves fall on the ground.
And the leaves were collected the other day, but lots of wind and everything. They gathered. Going down to the parking area, they were all over the place. And I just kind of mentioned it. And you said, did you notice that I cleaned the leaves? I was like, yeah, that is so sweet. That makes me want to be close to him, because he's done such a wonderful job.
I clean them leaves again. You know what? I'll clean them leaves over and over again.
And so it's not something that even costs any money.
No, it's
but
little
it's being
things.
Thoughtful and knowing what to be thoughtful about, because you communicate as to what's important. So
let me finish this thought then. She would just say, Dee had enough of my mess. She said, Johnny, just hide all the stuff in the closet, please. I won't look there. And I'll reward you for your job well done. And I knew
positive feedback.
Exactly what that meant. Mm-hmm. So I would quickly clean up the mess. Dee influences me and makes me want to straighten up, even though it's not in my nature normally.
Now, I could holler and scream, but we went through that too, where he said, you know what? The nagging and the hollering and screaming does not work. I'm not a slow learner. I'm like, okay, that does not work.
So, sex is a terrific motivator for the motivator, me. So, we want to say to you, to that person who asked that question, communicate, talk about it, and find ways not to make it look like a weapon, but use it as a way to influence.
How does this make me feel? I've worked all day. I'm not in the mood. What can we do differently? How can you help me get in the mood?
Yes.
What are some strategies that we could employ?
Yes. So those.
Or what are some things that bother? When I'm totally stressed out after a super long day, like I was up very early this morning and I was working on several projects, and by midday you said you need to go take a nap.
Yep. Because she was up before, all night. Our time is almost up.
That's also because my personality was getting
ugly.
Look,
we said we're going to keep it short today because our time is up. Look, real quick. Communicate. And send us your questions. We won't spend more time.
Without being argumentative.
Right. Now, the book, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. We want you to do what the lady did yesterday when we went to the open house. Mm-hmm. She said, I'm buying 6 copies as gifts for everybody. I want to have a great marriage. And she bought one for each person in the couple. She bought one
in her network?
Husband and the wife. She bought a copy for each one of them. And she bought 6 books. I would recommend for Christmas, this is a great Christmas gift.
Help keep marriages together.
Get people
to communicate.
They will never forget you, and they will never forgive the forgive the possibility of being loving to you forever and ever because of what you blessed them with. Go to jollymarriage.com or just call our office and say, I want 6 books, 7 books, 10 books. Do them before they run out, and then you have to wait till after Christmas to get them. So, again, she told you we're going to next printing. So, jollymarriage.com or call our office, 202.
Next week we're going to talk about, I think we should address
202-723-8863. 202-723-8863. Address
handling the holidays and how we are so wired differently and how you can work through the holidays together.
That's a big one.
Wired so very
so
differently.
different wiring.
So different.
I need toys and stuff on Christmas morning, and she's the exact opposite. And
when we started dating,
don't give me anything.
I said, don't give me anything.
Don't give me anything
Because I wasn't planning on it lasting. How about that? That's another topic.
That's a whole nother topic. But the brother worked his magic on our sister. Anyway.
Jolly out.
Jolly out. Love y'all. God bless. Bye-bye.